All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. All right, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. And as always, giving us special peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, got the brother Yasharan with me. All right, basically, what we're gonna do is try to get in depth, go a little deeper concerning the MOTB, and I myself and Yasharan and numerous of other brothers have done lessons on the mark of the beast. We are, of course, at GMS, we teach that it's the micro CHIP, all right, and other Israelite groups teach different, okay, but our job as men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and to guide the flock, all right, is to teach what it truly is, all right, and we understand through the Spirit that it's not a spiritual mark, okay, it's definitely something that's physical, and it's definitely something that these elite, all right, want to put inside you to further their New World Order. You know, as Apostle Tahar likes to say, it's the Most High's chip, which it is. All right, and the elect is not to take that. All right, in the last days. Okay, like contrary to popular belief, you've had particular Israelite leaders tell their flock to take the juice that came out. All right, when the CV-19 had hit, you had particular Israelite groups, Israelite leaders telling their congregation that it was okay to take the juice. All right, and more than likely, if you took that juice, you're gonna take the chip. All right.
There was like a little quiz before the final test. You know, I got a good opening precept. Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, which in this case would be what? Telling people, our people, what the truth is about what the MOTB is and how serious it is. Because you have a lot of these Israelite groups, not only do they not teach what the MOTB truly is, they mock us for getting into it so deeply, and stressing the importance of it. But when you read in Revelation 14, the punishment is that if you receive it, you will be destroyed. So it's serious. It is a life or death matter. It is like we just compared it to a quiz or a test. It is the final test, man. If you that is the one question on the test. It don't matter if you've been in this truth 20, 25, 30 years. Okay, if you take that, it was all for nothing, man.
Yeah, it's the one question on the test that you can't get wrong.
It's like 100 points, like 99 points out of 100 or some shit.
And that's what the hour of temptation is going to be centered around. The hour of temptation is going to be centered around the mark, okay? Because it's not something that you can take and then you tell the Most High, oh, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take this instrument, I'm going to go to the doctor, and I'm going to dig it out of my hand, and now I don't have it anymore. Once you make that conscious decision to take it, you're X'd out of the Most High's book, because that's you giving your alliance to Esau, Edom. All right, so there's no repenting from that, man.
And brothers have gone in the past about how it's likened unto a digital ool.
Exactly.
But continuing on, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So we're basically getting the blood.
Getting the blood off our hands. By consistently and constantly going into these lessons, by constantly reviewing it, covering it, reviewing it, covering it, reviewing it, covering it. That way, the blood is off our hands. Because you Israelites out there, you ones that are still in the world, so to speak, and even you Israelites in the truth, the warning is out there. The warning is out there. That's why Ezekiel 3:17 just said, read that verse again.
I'll slack you.
That's all good. Give them warning from me. Go
Verse
ahead.
18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his way, to save his life, the same man shall die in his iniquity.
Go to the 17th verse. Up.
Verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Yeah, what does a watchman do? A watchman watches out for the sheep, watches out in this sense while we watch out for the people of our nation. We can see that these elite, and we're going to get into it, all right, we just warming up. Well, we can see that these elite are going to come down with a mark, okay? Because you have the image of the beast, and then you have the mark, which goes hand in hand with his image. You're going to have that mark to survive in the image, basically, because the image is basically society. The image is this system. The image is what you see around you every day. So you're going to have that mark to go along with the system. Because if you don't have the mark, you're not going to be able to participate in the system.
And there's already the discussions. They're putting it out there on your major news networks now with this AI revolution. Okay? They're talking about in just a couple years, right? There's going to be a lot of layoffs. What are we going to do with all these unemployed people, man? How are we going to sustain life? You know, how are people going to have a purpose? How are they going to participate in society if they have no way of contributing?
And right now they already dumbing you down. The biggest distraction is social media. They keep your mind occupied with endless scrolling and retarded ass algorithms. That's what dumbs the people down, man.
They're saying within 2 years, all the Fortune 500 companies are pretty much going to literally have 50% the amount of employees, man. Everything from medical to technology, you know, they don't need all these useless eaters anymore, man. And eventually, it's going to get to the point where, hey, if you want to receive your credits in order to buy or sell, which we're going to get into, okay, you're going to have to receive this. There's going to be some kind of mechanism that connects you to that system. But anyways, continuing on. Ezekiel. Yep. Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning for me. And that's what our mission is, man.
We have to give the warning, because if we don't give the warning, as you read down, it explains that the blood will I require at the watchman's hand. Right? So that's something that we don't want. That's why it's important that you continue to do the work and continue to edify the sheep. All right? The scriptures tell us to watch over the flock, roughly paraphrasing. Feed the flock of the Most High. So that's and when you do lessons, it's good when you do lessons on warning Jake from what's coming down the pipe. So I'm gonna go to the precept, and then we're gonna you good?
Yeah.
You need some water or something?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. I'm gonna start at Revelation chapter 13 and verse 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of whose miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And this mark is going to basically come off as a miracle, because believe it or not, Esau is going to say, hey, the lame can walk, right? If you receive this, and they basically proved it already with the brain see hips, where the lame can walk, they can do certain things that they can't do. It seems as if it's a miracle. Maybe the blind can see now, you know, so it's going to come off as a good thing. We always use the old example, like, oh, if your grandmother falls and, you know, she's got the C hip, it can detect. Like right now, iPhones do that. If you get into a bad car crash, I don't know, Samsung probably does it too. Your iPhone or your watch can detect that you've been into an accident, and it'll call 911 for you. So it's going to be the same thing with the C hip, but probably just more advanced. It's going to be able to tell when you got high blood pressure. when your blood sugar's low. The C-hip is going to be able to detect all of that.
I work with a kid who's going to college for medical imagery and they're basically his professors, even though they're not really pushing that curriculum, they're telling all their students to get working with AI, man, because it can detect cancers and things like that and problems long before your eye can.
And that's going into the miracles that it's going this is going to come off as a miracle, but it's a left-hand side miracle. It says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. If you want to speak at any time, you can.
Well, hey, going back to the 19 era, a lot of the in our own area, not necessarily Niagara Falls, but Buffalo area, they had it to where you couldn't even go to a football game or even a restaurant, you know, unless you had your
Face diaper.
Yeah, your syrup card.
And your syrup card, yeah.
You know, and that was an experiment, you know, because one thing that Esau Edom does is he'll throw out these experiments and then he'll gather information from it for research purposes. How much did the slaves go along with this? How did they rebel? And then, you know, like the brother mentioned with social media, it's a learning tool for them. They probably got the AI reading every single Twitter post, every single Insta post, TikTok video, you know, analyzing that shit to see, okay, certain percentage of people will rebel. How much did they say they would rebel? So on and so forth, man.
It's all documented.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at what his symbol is, it's the all-seeing eye. You know, they want to know every single thing.
It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So in this particular precept, it says those that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And it's the same thing with the mark. If you don't have the mark, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be killed. All right? That's how Esau is ultimately going to present it when it's at its height. Like, if you don't take this, you're going to be beheaded. If you don't take this, you're going to be killed. If you don't take however he the Most High puts the spirit on him to do, he's going to try to X out everybody who doesn't want to be a part of his society.
And he'll use every tool at his disposal to get the people who go along with it to be your enemy. You know, whether it's celebrities or his media.
Yep, that's one of his main tools, celebrities and the media. It says, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And how we always go into, that's not talking about rich nations and poor nations, free nations and bond nations, big nations and small nations. That's all bullshit, man. It's talking about people. That's why it says, and he causeth Salakia. That's why it says, and that no man might buy or sell. This is talking about individual people. Okay? And it can't be sin. All right? Because at the end of the day, how are you going to buy and sell with sin? It's not Christianity. How are you going to buy and sell with Christianity? It's none of these things that these Israelite groups are teaching. It's not an embargo. Okay? It's exactly what you see on the thumbnail. That's what it is. All right? So, we're going to get the first, what I want to do is get the etymology of the word mark. Okay? Because we know in the Greek what it means. It means charagma, right? So, go to the etymology real quick and type in Mark. No, matter of fact, Salakia, brother. Go to the etymology, the online etymology, and type in charagma. That's what you do. Because it's gonna pop up. You know? So this has to be something physical that you buy and sell with, because when you today's society, what do? You buy and sell with money, rather it's a Federal Reserve note, which that's a physical transaction from you to a clerk or wherever you buying from. And even if you use your debit card, or a credit card, you still got to do a transaction. All right, rather it's you at a gas station, or you could do it online.
It's not coming up.
The word.
Yeah.
Did you spell it right?
I'll put Mark, see if it's
Okay. Cause I don't think you spelled it right. Cause that I think when you put charagma in there it pops up.
Yeah, a second.
So I'm
I'll
gonna
look
keep
it up
reading.
I'll look it up in the BLB and make sure I get the spelling right.
Yeah, because you guys get the spelling correct. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Matter of fact, stigma. Type in stigma.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, type in stigma. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that goes into high size stigma. And I think stigma might be the word.
Okay, yeah, stigma.
Okay, go ahead.
1590s.
So now we're gonna get into the words, the wording. Go ahead.
Mark made on skin by burning with a hot iron.
So it says it's a mark made on the skin by a hot iron. That's why earlier we said that the MOTB is known as a digital oil. Right? Go ahead.
And when you look it up in the blue letter in the Greek, it means what? A stamp or an incision. That's the stamp, the branding. From Latin stigma, plural stigmata. From Greek stigma, mark of a pointed instrument.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I brought out in previous videos. The mark of a pointed instrument. All right? So when you look up Revelation 18 and you go into 603 scoring 6, like I said, that definition is high size stigma. When you look up stigma, it goes into what we're reading. Because it says his number is 603 scoring 6. So it now is going into a more in-depth definition of the mark. All right, it is the number of a man, for his number is 603 scoring 6, and this is what Esau is going to use. Go ahead.
Mark of a pointed instrument, a la like a needle or
Yep, this ain't like any of you brothers can go and Google
syringe.
Yeah, or you can go on YouTube and type in however you want to type it in, a person getting the C-hip. Videos will pop up of people going to a person and they're using that pointed instrument to put it in their skin. It takes a couple seconds to get it. And once it's in there, it's in there. Go ahead, bro.
Puncture. Tattoo mark brand.
Now look up the word puncture in the etymology, because all of these words are tied together. So what do you do when you get the C-hip? You get your skin punctured. All right? So all of that is spiritual shit. You niggas got blinders on, man. You got blinders on. You can't see. Romans 11:7. Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for the election have obtained it, but the rest were blinded, man.
Oh, we got to get the noun and the verb.
Yep, get all the meat off that leg of lamb.
Puncture, the noun version, late 14th century. Small perforation or wound. Notice how most of this is in the late 14th, early 15th century when the Renaissance happened, man.
Yep.
When Esau took over. Small perforation or wound made by or as if by a pointed instrument. There we go. The stigma, right? Pointed instrument. From late Latin punctura, a pricking.
A pricking. when you get that C-hip in you, you prick your skin. We're going off an extension of what the scriptures are saying. We'll go into the blue letter and bag up a little bit and read the Greek for 603 scoring 6, but we know what it says, but we're just going a little deeper. Go ahead.
From Latin punctus, past participle of pungere, to prick, pierce.
To prick or pierce. Okay? This is what Esau Edom is coming down to do to fulfill his new world order. He wants to make you a slave to his society, and he's going to do that with something that's digital, starting with a digital IDs or whatever, right? Then he preps your mind when they first came out with those the C-hips on the debit card. Every time you would go to a store, they would have a sign on the thing that said "Insert the chip." Mm-hmm. Insert the chip. Why do you think they kept playing with your mind like that? Mm-hmm. Insert the chip. Every time it was always on all these machines. Insert the chip. Insert the chip. They're prepping your mind.
And then it went to the what is it? The QR codes.
Yep.
Everything's got a fucking QR code. They even got T-shirts with QR codes on.
Well, if you got a car, I've seen people put QR codes on their car. If they got a business, scan the fucking car, man.
I like that one T-shirt where it's a QR code and then you scan it and it's a dude holding up a middle finger, man. From suffix form of pi, root puic, to prick, the sense of act of perforating or piercing is from mid-15th century. And here's the noun for puncture: to pierce with a sharp point of any kind.
To pierce with a sharp point of any kind. To pierce with a sharp point of any kind. This is all an extension of stigma, which is in the Bible, by the way. A lot of you people pick up the Bible. You go, 600, 666. Oh, that's the devil. That's the devil. 666. That's the devil. You don't know what the hell you reading, man. This 666, that's the devil. That's Satan. Your pastor's not going to break this down. He's not going to go into words. They don't know what's going on, man.
He ain't getting no blood to his brain. His tie's on too tight.
Yeah.
And he don't even know what that tie is.
This type of understanding is only given to the prophets, the men of the Lord, who are set out to warn the sheep. Like you would warn a kid. If you in the kitchen cooking and there's and you open up the oven and a bunch of hot smoke is gonna come out, you're not gonna let a kid, you're gonna say, get back, it's hot. You don't want that kid to burn themselves or get hurt. You're warning them. That's what we're doing, man. That's what we were set up to do. Go ahead.
Shit, my parents did that. In fact, one time when I was a real young little Yash,
little lad,
my mom said, you know what, you want to keep trying to touch the burner, go ahead and touch it. And I touched it, burned my ass, and never touched it again. Yep. She goes, good, I hope you learn your lesson. I'll sit down while I make this food. Mm-hmm. You know?
And translate that to spiritual form is getting hot in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Prophecies are coming to pass. This man is he's really getting ready to get strict with these digital IDs. So, and everything is fucking AI, man. You're not gonna be able to tell from what's real and fake anymore. They already could do voiceovers and face recognition and all that shit. Mm-hmm. All roads lead to the chip.
They're saying there's these big CEOs. Some of these elites are saying that people could potentially be millionaires and billionaires and have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of virtual employees, all done by AI without a single person doing nothing, man.
Mm-hmm. Go back into that, the noun you said or the verb? Was that
the verb.
And then after that, look up prick. Go ahead.
Okay. Puncture, verb, to pierce with a sharp point of any kind.
These are all physical definitions to prove that it's physical. And it's not a spiritual mark. It's not sin. None of that sounds like sin. Go ahead.
This is prick. Noun, Middle English, preek, whatever that is. Pointed object, something that punctures or stabs, sting of an insect, a goad, a pin or fastener, a pricking as a bodily pain or torment.
Yeah, pricking as a bodily pain or a torment. Now, rather it hurts you or not, you're gonna feel like a little sting or something whenever it's gonna. You know how when you was little, we all done got vaccinated before, right? I don't even hate to say that word. It might flag us.
Yeah.
You know, at one point in our lives, you know, our parents sent us to the doctor and we had to get them vax, and you will feel a little, you know, real quick, right? So that's probably how that C-hip is gonna be. You're gonna feel a little sting. They might say it's gonna sting a little bit. Put it in you.
Here it is, the White House, you know, the government itself, and it's on their Twitter, the official White House Twitter page, issued a statement saying that all that shit was pretty much a test run, a false flag, man. Mm-hmm. But yet, here it is, YouTube, which is one of the biggest platforms in the world, owned by Google, right? That's their cash cow, can still ban your videos for saying that, even though the government's saying that
right.
It was an operation, man.
Right. I got warnings and just not too long ago. They go back and they'll put their algorithm out to where they'll flag shit from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, sometimes even farther. And why would they do that to our videos if we're not telling the truth?
And here it is. A lot of people lost their jobs. People got kicked out of the military. They got kicked out of prison guards got kicked out. And they're giving them back pay with compensation, but we still can't say it on a public platform because they don't want the information getting out there.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure IUIC and ISUPK not getting their videos flagged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can have 100,000 subscribers, no flags, no nothing.
They got boot camps, man.
Yeah.
I did a video the other day about them guys doing them half-ass, some of the worst push-ups I've ever seen in my life that my gym teacher would never even count as a single push-up. Getting sprayed in the eyes with fucking pepper spray. That's embarrassing, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's embarrassing, man. But hey, you know what? You could gather all the simpletons. This is back into the word prick. A pin or fastener, a prickling is a bodily pain or torment. From Old English prica, sharp point, puncture, minute mark made by sticking or piercing.
Sticking or piercing.
All right. Particle, very small portion of space or time. It is a common word around the North Sea Germanic tongues. Compare Low German priek, point, Middle Dutch prick, Dutch priek, Swedish prick, point, dot, of unknown etymology. So the etymology is truly unknown. Mm-hmm. You know, they could just trace it back to a couple different languages in that region during that time.
Now go to the Blue Letter and just get Revelation 13 and what is it, 17? Get the 603 definition. I'm gonna read this real quick, and then whatever you can find in the chat, we'll read something out of there. This is because basically what we just did was we proved to you within a matter of...
I'm slack. You wanted Revelation 13, 16?
No, not Charagma, the 603
Okay, yeah.
We proved to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in a matter of some minutes that this thing is physical. Just by going into words. That's why IUIC and all these guys get mad when... Just read it in the English, brother. Read it in the English. Because once you start getting into the etymology of words, which the apostles and elders always taught us to do, you get a deeper understanding. And you get to see what the scriptures are really talking about. Go ahead.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, psi, stigma.
Hold on, let me get...
Psi, stigma.
So what you would do is you would do what we did. You say, well, what is that? What is stigma? And then you go, boom, you go into the breakdown like we just did. What does it say for that?
Strong's definitions. Shy, Xi, stigma. This. Oh, slack you. Hang on a second.
You good?
I just scrolled down too much. Outline of biblical usage. 666. The meaning of which is the basis of much vain speculation. And it says Strong's definition, the 22nd, 14th, and an absolute letter of the Greek alphabet, intermediate between the 5th and 6th, used as numbers denoting respectively 660 and 6. 666
What's
is
it
a
say
new
in the blue letter?
that is in the blue
Okay,
letter.
see, so yeah, so it's not gonna give you much, but you have to see. That's gonna require a little bit of digging. That's it. Not much though. You just go into, you just look up what does stigma mean, and it's gonna break it down to you. From stigma, you're gonna get one word. From that word, you're gonna get another word. Like we just read stigma, puncture, and prick. That's all going to show you that damn this goes a little deeper, right? This is I want to read this real quick. 2 Thessalonians 3:1. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified, even as it is with you. So, you know, by us breaking down these precepts and going into certain things, that's the word of the Lord having free course. You know, by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, going into prophecy. It says, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men not have faith. And the men that we need to be delivered from are the elite Edomites, the elite bankers, the ones that are going to come down having great wrath, because they know that they have but a short time. They're going to bring that C-hip to establish their will, but it's going to be really the Most High's will. Okay?
And I got the root word for it, and it's just stigma, and it says outline of biblical usage. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. We went into...
You can't go too fast with that. A mark pricked in or branded on the body. We're talking about an instrument being placed inside you. Go ahead.
To ancient Oriental usage, slaves... let me say that word again. Slaves...
Which the elite refer to you as lower hanging fruit. They refer to all of us as lower hanging fruit. The lower hanging fruit. That's another word for slave. Go ahead.
Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander. And we went into all three of these. All the words that we looked into on the etymology, they used what? They used the word prick. They used the word branded. They used the word stamp. Okay?
Yep.
Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to.
And that's what Esau wants to do. When you get that, he's basically saying, you belong to me. You belong to me. You got my mark. Now you can enter into the new society.
Now, how do you get the rich nations and the...
Yeah, that's some nigga shit.
How do you get the sleeping with white women and the...
Sellout breakdowns, man.
And the embargoes and all that? Where could you even begin to puzzle that together?
Because those guys have to follow a curriculum, that 501c3. The ISUPK will have a drug program before they teach the correct breakdown on the MOTB. They'll waste time all day on a boot camp with a bunch of fat niggas in all black running up and down the hill, getting sprayed by peppers. First of all, this truth is not militant. This is spiritual. This is a spiritual war, man.
We're gathered by the word, man.
And we're gathered by the word, and Yahweh Shai never told us to do that shit.
What if you got a sickly brother or a brother that may have infirmities or is weak and feeble? Okay? You know? Not everybody's going to be an athlete in this truth.
And that's not the way that you show, so like I didn't mean to cut you off. That's not the way that you show you're not a coward. You show that you're not a coward by remaining in this truth and staying faithful to the Lamb. That's how you show that you're not a coward. It has nothing to do with your physique. Okay?
Now, don't get me wrong. Our apostles, they encourage us to eat well, to exercise, you know. That's part of, that's pretty much part of being a man, really, you know.
Yep.
But that's not how you're going to receive salvation, man. The chariots ain't going to go over you and say, yeah, this guy could do 100 push-ups. I'm going to deliver him.
Right.
And then Esau, Edom, if he wanted to disrupt all that bullshit, all he would have to do is just fly a damn jet or a drone over, because y'all ain't got no Air Force, and it would be over. Just some quick little airstrikes like they do in Call of Duty.
Ultimately, it's not good. It's not a good look to the ministry. Go ahead.
Right, so we went over what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods.
So back in verse 2, 2 Thessalonians 3:2, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men not have faith. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. And we have confidence in the Lord touching you, that ye both do and will do the things which are commanded you.
Well, right, not gather an army to confront the evils around you, you know, but to be delivered and kept away from it, man. Like being kept from the hour of temptation. Okay, we're supposed to be kept from the hour of temptation, man. That's what it says in Revelation 3:10. I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. But if there's more in there, I got something pulled up here in chat.
No, that was it. That was it.
This is, I put this.
Well, I want to, Salaki, I want to read this real quick. Because, you know, this is the punishment. Revelation 14:9. It says, because we're speaking on this, we're speaking on the mark, and we, you know, for brothers in the know, you know the judgment of to take it, right? That physical mark that we're speaking about. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand, which the mark is everything we just went over, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're going to have to drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. And you're going to be punished.
And it's in the next chapter, man. It ain't like it's a hidden verse. It's in the next chapter, next page over.
Yep. So be careful what you teach and be careful what you wish for, man. And now you Israelite groups, you're to the point where they can't deny it now. There's so much information coming out on AI, digital ID, all roads are leading to that chip, to the point where they can't deny it. They can't deny it. Pretty soon they're gonna have to say we were wrong, or just die in their pride. Either or. But that's when the elect is gonna start coming out of these camps and saying, you niggas been teaching us this shit for years. It's bullshit, man. I'm out of here, man. I ain't trying to get destroyed. And the elect gonna come up out of there.
You had and I'm not trying to get too much into them guys.
Now you good.
That's a whole other topic. Them Genesis guys, man. Deacon
Another failed experiment.
And Hassad. Hassad's like the only guy that came out of Sakari that don't wear them stupid hats. But that's because he got a nice head of hair probably. But once he starts proceeding, you'll start wearing the caps like the rest of them. Because that's just the spirit y'all are coming in. Guys were leaving y'all in your live stream because y'all were changing up the lake of fire.
Yeah, good. Which I did a video on that too. You trying to reinvent the fucking wheel, man. Why don't you guys prophesy about something? Stop having all these fucking debates. Why don't you prophesy, man? Everything's a debate. Everything's about numbers. Everything's about money with these camps. Everything's about views, money, debates, super chats, cash apps. That's why they use this word, man. It's not really sincere. You're supposed to teach this word so you can save your life, man, and them that hear thee. That's what you're supposed to do, man. First and foremost, we doing this because we fear the Lord. We don't want to get fucked up. And I'm going to say it as blunt as possible. We want to receive salvation. We fear the Lord. We're doing this for ourselves. We're trying to receive salvation. And also, we're trying to care for the flock. The sincere men, women, in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's why we do these lessons, man. We don't give a damn if we ain't got much money right now. We ain't really got, you know, we getting by. We're not gonna put our cash app in the description. We're not asking for super chats and all that shit, man.
And it's 2025. There's not gonna be any major changes to the doctrine. You know, these guys act like they just found this shit out all of a sudden. They're changing things as they go along. Because you're trying because you're trying to separate yourself from Al-Azhar because you don't want to be grouped up with him because that was a big scandal, man. Trying to separate yourself. But
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I put this in the Chat GPT. Is the mark of the beast similar to a digital ool?
Wow.
And it
Wow.
said that's an insightful comparison. Let's break it down.
Okay.
Actually, I might just get right to the point because it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah. And the Most High gave us this little bit of technology. He gave Esau. He also gave us to use to go into lessons and breakdowns and topics to edify. Okay, like we're using this tool to break things down. Go ahead.
Actually, we could read the whole thing. The mark of the beast versus the ool. Biblical slave mark. That's what it puts in there. What is the ool? In Exodus 21, 5 through 6, and Deuteronomy 15, 16 through 17, a slave who loved his master and chose to remain in bondage voluntarily would be marked by having his ear pierced with an ool or a sharp tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This mark showed lifelong allegiance. It was a public, permanent identifier of a voluntary servitude.
It said it was permanent.
Mm-hmm.
You would have that mark on your body till you die. Go ahead.
Number 2, what is the mark of the beast? And then it post Revelation 13, 16 through 17, which we already read. The mark, Greek word charagma, means an engraving or stamp.
You gotta look up engrave. Just Google it.
Okay.
Because these words they're exciting my spirit. So
I'm going to do it in the...
etymology,
Yeah.
engrave. Because what you do is it just gave you the Greek, it gave you the scripture, it gave you the Greek definition, and then it gave you a word. So just look up the words. And that will help you break down what the precept means. It's simple.
Engrave. It's a cut in. All these words pretty much say a similar thing.
Yep.
Make by incision, produce or form by incision on a hard surface. Implied in engraved, obsolete verb, carve.
To carve. This is all that you can go back to chat. These are all words to show you that there is a physicality to it. It's not spiritual. It's not something that you I can feel it. This is something that it has physicality to it. Skin to skin contact, shall I say. Go ahead.
It says it's associated with economic control. You should not buy or sell.
Buy or sell.
And allegiance to the beast.
And the beast is the image of the beast is the system. Once you get that mark, you're making your allegiance.
Ooh, this part's good right here. It appears to involve coercion, deception, and worship, and it references Revelation 14, 9 through 11.
The water how about Shemiah Shai for the chat GPT. GP with GTP.
Difference in nature. The ool is about loving servitude chosen freely within God's law. The mark of the beast is idolatrous, imposed by an anti-God system.
And it is idolatrous because once you do that, you're accepting Esau as your God. That's idolatry. That's a lot of Jacob. That's why it says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. A lot of you Israelites out there, you love this nigga, man. Every time we out on the highways and the byways and we telling you he gonna be destroyed, there's always a nigga or Eve that wanna come up and save him. But what about them? What about them? This nigga done enslaved you and raped, robbed, and murdered your whole nation, and you still want to take him with you.
And one thing I notice about this AI is as they update it and update it and update it, it gets smarter and smarter and keeps telling on you devils even more and more.
Yeah.
If I would have put this in a Chat GPT a year and a half ago, it would have gave us a different answer, man.
Mm-hmm.
It brings divine judgment. So is the mark a digital ool? Yes, in concept. It's like a digital counterfeit of the biblical ool. It marks ownership, it defines loyalty. It affects your status in society.
It affects your status in society. Meaning what? If you got it, you gonna be considered like a part of the people, so to speak. If you don't got it, you're gonna be looked upon. Just like when you didn't have the jump shot, people looked at you funny, but we was looking at y'all funny.
Mm-hmm.
If you came around your people and you didn't have the syrup, they would be like, you ain't. They looked at it. It affected your status in society. Even that, the syrup affected your status in society.
I worked with a woman who worked at the hospital, and she said that there was a deadline, and they had to have security march a bunch of people out when they wouldn't meet the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, why weren't you marching out there? And she said, I'll tell you what, those people, they might have lost their jobs, but they kept their integrity.
Exactly. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, through that bullshit, we kept our integrity. And we also plan to keep our integrity through the next trial, which is going to be the ultimate test.
And then she felt bad because she's sitting there getting sick all the damn time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which that's another thing. We're not trying to get flagged here.
Yep, go ahead.
It marks ownership. It defines loyalty. It affects your status in society.
Rather good or bad. Good and bad, it's going to affect your status in society.
But it's perverted. Instead of voluntary submission to a righteous master, it's a demonic allegiance to the beast system. Wow.
It's a demonic, what?
A demonic allegiance to the beast system. And beast is in capitals.
It's a demonic allegiance to the beast system, which proves that the system has its mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a demonic allegiance to the beast system, speaking about the mark. So that cuts out a lot of shit that you guys are teaching. Go ahead.
And it goes on and on. Well, actually, just one more line, but it asks an important question on the bottom. Think of it as Satan's version of the Ul. Wow.
How are the, and who's Satan? Esau, Edom, and the physical counterpart of Satan is this man. When it tells you, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, and it goes down, is this the man? That's Satan, man. The Edomites. Go ahead.
Not for love, but control. And
Alex, what's his name?
Jones.
No. The guy who said he sat down on Rockefeller.
Oh, that was Aaron Russo.
Aaron Russo.
Alex Jones was the interviewer.
Yeah, read that part what you just read.
Not for love, but control.
And what did Aaron Russo say in the interview? He asked Rockefeller, why do you want to do this? You got all the money, everything you ever wanted. And Rockefeller said, total control over the people. That was his answer. You got everything you want, but so why are you doing this? Why do you want that to be the end game goal? To have total control over the people, man.
And then it asks, because you know ChatGPT always asks a question at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It asks, would you like me to compare this to modern tech like RFID, CBDCs, or biometric ID systems? And I'm about to type in right now, yes.
Let's go. Let's go. What a time to have the true understanding. What a time, man.
Oh,
what a
man.
time.
It's
It's like a rabbit hole, I know. Just get a couple more.
all right. So this I put in yes, and it said
Because we could do a part 2.
RFID implants #1, microchips. Tomorrow's June, ain't no microchips.
It's June.
It's 51 degrees outside with 20-mile-an-hour winds in June, and you know that's a sign of the time, man. How wish I said that? Signs of the sky. Mm-hmm. Radio frequency identification chips are small implants inserted under the skin, usually in the hand. They could store ID, health records, or enable payments. Parallel to the mark, physical mark in the hand enables buying, selling, identity verification, tied to control and access like workplace, finance, or travel.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. So don't let these niggas out here teach you the okie doke, man. Don't fall for the okie doke. Stay spiritual. Go ahead.
Potential role could easily be used for global economic regulation. It says easily be used for global economic regulation and tracking allegiance. Number 2, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, digitized fiat currency controlled directly by central banks. Every transaction is traceable, programmable, and can be restricted or revoked. And I have to say this, they can also put time limits on it, you know, so you can't just save no money. Parallel to the mark could enforce no buying, selling without compliance. You should not buy or sell, right?
Yeah.
Could be tied to social credit, which they're already doing in China, vaccine status, slack at it,
It's all good, bro.
or behavioral metrics.
Lord willing, they don't touch this video.
Obedience to the system equals access. Resistance equals locked out. Potential role makes total economic control feasible without physical cash.
Sometimes when you bring out this, without physical cash, when you bring out this much information, you know, within an hour, this devil, he'll try to, you know, but it's all through the spirit of power Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Lord might not have them touch this video to where it reaches brothers and they get edified. Which I believe that we're gonna be straight.
Perfect vehicle for beast system enforcement. Number 3, biometric ID systems. Biometric data is used for identification, your face, eye, voice, palm, or fingerprint, parallel to the mark. Forehead and hand. Globally rolled out with systems like ID 2020, WorldCoin, and UN digital ID programs. And if I can mention, the guy who's the head of ChatGPT was the one who made WorldCoin. Okay? Required for accessing banking, healthcare, voting, travel, etc. Could be the gateway to number 4.
Start back up.
Systems like
Hold
China.
on. Okay, you good.
Systems like China's score citizens based on behavior, with punishments for non-compliance, travel bans, and account freezes. Just like they've been saying, man. If you protest this new system, they'll just shut it off. All right.
Parallel. Read one more. We gotta wrap it up.
Parallel to the mark.
Keep ringing.
Allegiance to state beast system measured and enforced. Obey equals rewards. Resistance equals cut off. Conditions access to the economy, much like Revelation 13 and 17. Potential role adds a spiritual, political loyalty layer to economic control, just like the worship aspect of the mark, right? If you don't worship the image of the beast, right? And one more paragraph. Summary, digital OOL equals beast system, question mark. Yes, modern tech can act like a digital OOL, but corrupted. The OOL equals voluntary servitude to a righteous master, Yahweh, because I have my ChatGPT program to put Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. The digital mark equals enforced allegiance to a global beast system. When what once symbolized love and obedience has been twisted into tyranny and spiritual death.
Yep. So at the end of the day, brothers, hey, don't take it. We've been telling you that for years. We're going to continue to tell you that until the chariots fly, man. You know, Lord willing, you can be edified. You know, as you can see, you can get into it and the results will show. So we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.